Did you know that the Battle of Badr was not just a military confrontation, but a pivotal moment that shaped Islamic history forever? In the early days of Islam, when the fledgling Muslim community was struggling against overwhelming odds, a small yet determined force of believers gathered in the Valley of Badr and, against all expectations, secured a victory that reverberates through history. This battle, fought in a barren desert near a life-giving well, was a testament to the power of faith, unity, and divine intervention. The legacy of Badr is not measured solely by the clash of swords or the cries of warriors, but by the enduring messages of hope, sacrifice, and trust in Allah that continue to inspire millions. The Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, always emphasized the importance of standing firm in adversity, declaring, "Allah does not burden a soul beyond that it can bear," words that nurtured the hearts of his companions and foreshadowed the miraculous victory at Badr. The Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, always emphasized the importance of standing firm in adversity, declaring, "Allah does not burden a soul beyond that it can bear," words that nurtured the hearts of his companions and foreshadowed the miraculous victory at Badr. The Prophet's migration from Mecca to Medina was not just a quest for safety, but a turning point for a community yearning for justice and spiritual freedom. As the Muslims found themselves marginalized and oppressed, the looming threat of the Quraysh, a dominant and powerful tribe, became an ever-present challenge. This external pressure galvanized the community and set the stage for a confrontation that would test their resolve like never before. The Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, reminded his followers repeatedly that perseverance in the face of hardship was a sign of true faith. His gentle yet resolute words, preserved in numerous authentic hadith collections, echoed in every heart, "Fear not, for Allah is with you," ensuring that even in their darkest moments, the believers would find strength in their trust in the divine plan. In the days leading up to Badr, the atmosphere among the Muslims was a mixture of anxiety and determination. The Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, took time to pray with his companions, seeking Allah's guidance and protection. He explained that the battle was not merely a human struggle, but a test of faith, where every act of courage and every sacrifice would be rewarded beyond measure. This preparation was not just military, but spiritual. The community was reminded that their commitment to Allah's commandments and the teachings conveyed in the Quran would be their shield against the might of their enemies. Verses from Surah Al-Anfal, which clearly state, "And Allah had already given you victory at Badr despite your limited numbers," Quran 8 verse 17, resonated deeply with the Muslims, instilling in them the belief that divine support would turn the tide of fate. The Prophet's insistence on remembrance of Allah and the recitation of his words served as both a comfort and a rallying cry, uniting the community under a banner of religious conviction and mutual support. As the battle commenced, the strategic importance of the Valley of Badr became evident. The location was chosen not only for its natural resources such as water and shelter, but also for its tactical advantage over the advancing Quraysh forces. The Muslims, though outnumbered, utilized their intimate knowledge of the terrain and employed innovative military tactics that had been refined through months of careful planning and prayer. On that fateful day, the desert air was filled with a sense of predestined purpose. The Prophet's companions, armed with modest weapons and extraordinary determination, stepped onto the field with hearts full of faith and eyes fixed on Allah's promise. Amidst the clash of arms and the cries of warriors, there were moments that transcended the chaos of battle, a series of incidents where the invincible hand of Allah appeared to guide the faithful. The Prophet had assured his companions that the angels were sent to assist them, a promise that was both comforting and awe-inspiring. Authentic hadith narrations recount that during the heat of combat, the Muslims witnessed occurrences that defied natural explanation, reinforcing their belief that Allah's support was with them on that very day. In the thick of the battle, the turning point came swiftly and decisively. The Quraysh, confident in their superior numbers and resources, were taken aback by the steadfast resolve and tactical prowess of the Muslims. As the fighting intensified, key enemy leaders fell, one after the other. Each loss among the Quraysh ranks was seen as a confirmation of the Prophet's teachings and the divine guarantee of success. The battlefield was filled with both the sounds of struggle and the silent prayers of those who believed that every moment was being watched over by the Almighty. The Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, had once said, "The best among you are those who show courage in adversity." And on that day, the Muslims embodied that spirit completely. Their unity and unwavering commitment transformed the battle into a moment of divine retribution against oppressors, demonstrating that piety and sincerity are potent forces, even in the face of overwhelming opposition. This extraordinary victory, etched in both the Quran and the hearts of believers, became a cornerstone of Islamic history. The Quran later spoke of this victory as a clear sign of Allah's favor upon the believers, and a turning point that would lead to the rapid expansion of Islam. As the dust of Badr finally settled, the outcomes of the battle became apparent. The defeat of the Quraysh was not merely a military achievement, but a symbolic victory of truth over falsehood, justice over tyranny, and faith over fear. The spoils of the battle were distributed among the believers as a sign of Allah's generosity and a reminder that material gain was secondary to the spiritual wealth that came from sincere submission to divine will. The Prophet's wise management of this victory, coupled with his persistent emphasis on humility and gratitude, ensured that the lessons of Badr were not lost over time. In his later sermons, the Prophet reinforced the idea that the victory at Badr was a manifestation of Allah's promise to those who remain devoted and steadfast in their faith. "Verily, Allah is with those who patiently persevere," he would remind them, echoing the timeless message that every hardship faced for the sake of truth is rewarded manifold in this life and the next. The legacy of the Battle of Badr is multi-layered and continues to influence the Muslim worldview even today. It stands as a beacon of hope for all those who face adversity, a powerful reminder that when believers unite under the guidance of their faith, no obstacle is insurmountable. The victory at Badr also served as a catalyst for further unity and strengthened the bonds within the early Muslim community, inspiring greater sacrifices and unwavering commitment in the years to follow. The lessons drawn from that day are recounted in sermons across the world, encouraging Muslims to remember that true strength lies not in numbers or physical might, but in the courage to stand by Allah's commandments, trust in His plan, and face challenges with an unyielding spirit. As the Quran repeatedly reminds us, "And whoever relies upon Allah, then He is sufficient for him." Quran 65:3. These words continue to inspire generations to strive for excellence in both character and conduct. Reflecting on the profound impact of the Battle of Badr, it is clear that this defining event not only determined the course of Islamic history, but also instilled in every Muslim the importance of faith, unity, and divine reliance. The detailed accounts of that day, recorded in both the Holy Quran and authentic Hadith, serve as timeless reminders of the miraculous interplay between human courage and divine intervention. The Prophet Muhammad's, peace be upon him's, teachings, his emphasis on prayer, patience, and the pursuit of justice, were vividly brought to life on that sacred ground. His words, "No strength or power except with Allah," resonated in every heart and continue to guide the faithful through their personal struggles and collective challenges. The story of Badr endures not merely as a historical account, but as a living source of inspiration and guidance for Muslims worldwide. In conclusion, the true story of the Battle of Badr is one of unwavering faith, strategic brilliance, and the powerful manifestation of divine will. This historic confrontation, fought against overwhelming odds, exemplifies the indomitable spirit of the early Muslims who relied on Allah's support to overcome tyranny and injustice. The victory at Badr was a turning point that cemented Islam's future, reinforcing the idea that the strength of a community is built on its commitment to justice, unity, and sincere devotion. As we remember the events of that momentous day, we honor the legacy of the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, and the countless martyrs whose sacrifices continue to inspire us. We invite you to share your reflections on the Battle of Badr in the comments below, and to explore our other videos on Islamic history for more insights into the events that have shaped our world. May the memory of Badr remind us all that with faith, perseverance, and unity, we can triumph over even the most daunting challenges, and may its lessons continue to guide us towards a future filled with hope, resilience, and divine mercy.